earlier on, like when we were talking originally, you said you wanted to have like a rant stream. You wanted to like really rant about something.
No. The thing is, I'm trying to give like my community a one time in the month where they can like get everything out, because I usually don't want negativity in my stream chat at all, like on regular streams.
Yeah.
But people still have things on their mind and they need to get that out, and that is what I wanted to provide.
Oh, I see.
Where they can just be like, my neighbor was this and that, and then I'll just be here and try to give some advice, maybe just be comforting, and that's what I'm trying to do once a month.
Oh, that's excellent.
This is just perfect that you have this mental health podcast, which basically perfectly flows into this kind of thing where I just wanted to do something that's maybe a bit thought-provoking or just helpful in general.
Oh, that's cool. I think it's quite interesting because there's like so many different approaches that you can take with this. So I notice I see it a lot. I go into streams and people will kind of give direct, like almost like, what's the word? Like almost like imposing advice, and that advice for me, that comes from like it comes from like a personal place of that person. So I've seen it before where somebody said, how can, my friends aren't talking to, my friends are being mean to me, and I don't want to hang out with them anymore. And the streamer was like, you need to cut that person out of your life, just cut them all out of your life. And I was a bit like, okay, right, that's a kind of, you have no idea what the repercussions of that would be. So when I see that, as much as I see things like that happen, and I think to myself, I can completely understand why someone would say that. I can completely understand the angle that they're going for, which is like, oh, I have had shit like that happen to me, and I cut them out of my life, and it was the best thing I ever did. And things like that seem to happen. I mean, we do it all the time, don't we? Like, people do it all the time. Like, you'll hear of a situation, and it reminds you of something that's happened to you that's kind of similar, and then you'll go, oh, here's exactly what I think you need to do. And I've found the funny thing as well is that almost all the time, the other person never takes the advice. They never just do it. Some people might do, and you tend to remember the times when that did happen. But a lot of the time, people will be like, oh yeah, probably, yeah, that's probably a good idea, and then they just don't do it because they think, no, I want to do this myself. I want to figure it out. Like there's something in their head doing that, or they just don't feel like it's worth it to do what they're doing, but do what they're told because they kind of want the control, I suppose. I mean, that could be a generalization, but it's something that while we've been training as a counsellor, it's always continued to be drummed into us that like you have to identify whether or not this is from your frame of reference or like your clients or your helpees' frame of reference. So I'll be like, someone will instead of them giving me like, coming to me and talking to me about their problems, I'll kind of just be like, that sounds like you feel like this, and then they kind of go, yeah, and then they kind of think of what they want to do based on now kind of having a better understanding of the situation. But how the hell do you translate that in a chat, in a stream chat? That seems like really difficult.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that kind of approach, and like advice giving in general?
The thing that I see is that if I give advice, I try to consider as many vantage points as possible. So I need as much information as possible to then look at it objectively. But and I try to like put my own feelings on the back foot for that. Let's say someone had a big bully in school. I have a big history with that. But I try to leave that out of my thought process when I give advice, because I don't know like all the little details that happened between those people.
Yeah.
And I would usually just say, like regarding on how hard the bullying has been, maybe they should get a teacher and then talk it over. There may have been a few misunderstandings which led to the bullying.
Yeah.
And it can be a bad person, I'm not gonna deny that, but we don't know for sure, and we can't just say, just cut that person out, because it doesn't work like that most of the time.
Yeah.
At least in my